Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Nye. Right now in Isle Deckney, it is 9:50 a.m. on Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. There's no news that I can think of. It's only Tuesday, so be sure to pace yourselves, don't overdo it. That's Isabel signing off. One day, Red's gonna visit us again. It'll be a lovely day, and we'll get more stuff. But today apparently is not that day. And you know what? That's absolutely fine. So I went and did some work yesterday. Went to someone else's town, sold a bunch of oranges, so we got some money. The money thing is important just because yesterday I had to adjust my clock a little bit. I was trying to make sure that we got the before noon prices for turnips, just so I wouldn't miss prices for my friends. End up spoiling all of my turnips. 300,000 bells with the turnips gone. They're sitting up in my top room. That's why you should not adjust your clock. I didn't think about it. But yeah, so I have to earn money again. I have no money at all. But I was able to sell a bunch of oranges, so that gave us some money. It's one of the reasons why I was able to do this Nook shopping up here. I also spent a bunch more of our points on the Nook Mileage program, mostly getting us street lamps. Unfortunately, street lamps can't be colored. They're not customizable, which I find kind of odd. So we only have this white color, which I'm okay with, but not happy with. So I'm going to try to figure out, hopefully we'll see another color option at some point, other than just pure white. So we'll keep an eye out for that. I also snagged simple panels. Those were mostly grabbed, so that way we can kind of split the basement. So we have a bunch of stuff split. You might notice I have a bunch of flowers in my inventory. I went and gathered flowers from around the island, mostly seeing what flower combinations we had, like what colors we had, so that way I could actually start making adjustments so that we can get the other colors. And I was also seeing what furniture, what recipes have I not completed. A lot of them are the reeds and such that exist in the system, so I need to get a bunch of very specific color combinations to make those. We have a lot of them, but there's kind of a lot I still have to do. Okay, I can dig it. Kind of neat. I did get the island, so I will show you what that looks like in the kitchen. The kitchen still definitely needs a fair amount of work, though. Okay, how well do these connect? Oh, those actually connect really well. Okay. It's not perfect, but, you know, if you need to split something, if you need to split a room like I am, this is not a terrible way to do it. Check that out. I was actually mildly worried that I wanted to. Did I get another one, or was that it? Nah, that was it. Okay. I was a little bit worried that these would not actually like have this seamless connection that you see here, but I like it. That kind of makes like a functional, you know, two halves of a room. I still don't like that you can't put anything on the actual center dividing line. Okay, so this is what we have going on for the kitchen. So I'm still working on stuff. I haven't quite gotten, you know, necessarily the tools I want to make this stuff work. So we're still working on that. I don't actually know about this. I think they call it the wood-burning stove. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about the wood-burning stove being here. So we're still going to be working on that. Oh, what do I have? What is there not something there blocking this? It looked like there's something there blocking this. What is it? Oh. Is it the wall thing blocking this? Is that a thing? It was. Interesting. Would not have expected that. For this wall object to have blocked a floor object. Okay. Well, we'll lift stuff up a little bit. That's fine. But the primary idea here, I'm trying to just make make it so we have space to have effectively counter space. And the only reason I have, in case you're curious why I have an ironing board in here, that's something that when I grew up, my grandmother had a tendency to iron. She loved to iron stuff, and the iron was always in the kitchen. So, in case you're curious, that is why I have the iron in the kitchen. Now, I did get myself another... Oh, that's not what I want. Gonna have to fix that. Where'd I put it? There we go. I did get another diner counter table here. Not that I seem to have the room to set it down and turn it at the moment. That shouldn't even be there. Okay, that is flat obnoxious. Thank you. Darn it. Man, we just do not find ourselves with room here. That's fine. I'll figure this out. Look, this is basically a Tetris puzzle. Let's be honest. That's really all this is. You know what? Let's have this be on that wall. And that will help immensely. I'll put this here. I can't say more how pleased I am that you can have this kind of, well, it's not seamless in this case, but you can almost have this seamless look going on here. There we go. So it's almost as if, I mean, we're obviously, we are not there, but it is almost as if we have a working kitchen. Now, I don't really like this counter. I would prefer to have, like, a wraparound counter over here, but, let's go ahead and put that right there. Can I adjust this, like, to the left ever so slightly? It's not going to look good no matter what I do, huh? Okay, that's fine. Not sure how I feel about this island. We're working on it though. You know, I'm getting stuff. That's the point. We're gradually working on getting stuff to where I want it to be. It's getting there. It's getting there. Okay, so go ahead and grab that because I'm gonna need that later. The important thing is we have a kitchen that is gradually growing. I think the next thing that I'm very much going to be looking at is building out like a bathroom, which is going to go probably in, I can't decide if it's going to go in that north room or if it's going to go into the east room. We do have two very different rooms there. Okay. So I think the first thing I want to do is start getting rid of these street lamps. And I kind of want them to be in places a little bit like this. So just kind of, you know, between bushes or kind of off kind of to the side a little bit. I don't want them to really interfere much. I do have to kind of... back one? Back one. I do have to kind of figure out locations for them to be where they, you know, they sit and they kind of look as if they would be placing light. But most importantly, I don't want them to, I got rid of this one because I was hoping I could repaint it. No such luck. What's going on here? May 1st is May Day, and we're giving you a special travel ticket as a gift. Swing between resident services between May 1st and 7th to get it. Interesting. Okay, let's go give some people some gifts. What's up, chatter? Here, I have a thing for you. Have a knife block. What was I talking about? Yeah, so I took down a lot of the lights. A layered shirt, okay. I took down a lot of the lights to try to customize them, and unfortunately, as I said earlier, they are non-customizable. So that didn't work out all that well. I'm gonna make today a better day. I'm gonna give you a thing. Yep. Here, have a dish drying rack. It is a dish drying rack. Yep. You got it. Okay. Well, you have fun figuring out where to put the dish drying rack. How many more? I got one more street lamp. Okay. Oh, hey, Sahara's here. Cool. Try not to run in some of these areas. I think this one's going to go right here. Glorious. Okay. Let's talk to Sahara. Actually, no. Let's go grab this balloon first. Don't you lie to me. I heard you. I knew I heard you. Aha. Okay, what do we get? We got iron nuggets. Fantastic. Let's, do I have money? I don't have money. We're gonna have to talk to Sahara later. That's cool. Let's get fruits first. Action Z, I did pick a bunch of flowers. Later on, when I am not talking to you lovely people, I'm gonna go and make some adjustments to how I have the flowers laid out. Because I actually oops, did not want to pick that up. I had a layout that I found that works amazingly well for getting the crossbreeds that I want. Unfortunately, the layout is not what you see right there. So I'm going to have to go and make those adjustments. There we go. I'm curious, for you, for you guys, how well do you carry strong emotion? I do mean strong emotion. So I'm not talking about, you're mildly happy or mildly sad, Mild is the key word in those phrases. So it's one of those, hey, this was a little bit funny, or, this was an enjoyable evening. But enjoyable is not fun, I guess. It's not one of those, it's not making you, I guess, happy or giddy or pleased for an extended period of time. This also applies to the more, quote-unquote negative emotions. I say quote-unquote because, yes, anger is, potentially a negative thing, but it depends how you use it. But, anger or sadness or, depression or things like that. Now, depression's a little bit of a harder one because there are those of us, myself included, that are, predisposed to having that particular emotion. So because of that, it's a little bit easier for us to carry that particular one with us. But I'm kind of curious. Do you find yourself able to maintain happiness for an extended period of time, or sadness or anger? Now, this is a little bit different from potentially carrying a grudge, I think. Because, nursing a grudge, I feel, is a little bit different from actively being angry at something for a extended period of time. I bring this up because I've never been able to do it. As weird as that sounds, as strange of a statement as that is, I can't carry emotions, good or bad, for very long. Like, I can't just, I can't be angry at someone for more than a day or two. And this kind of, no matter what the slight happens to be honest with you, usually it's one of those things where, eventually I just hit this kind of meh, And I guess for the negative emotions, for the, for things that you would not necessarily want to feel, or not even that you don't want to feel them. Whoops. Did not want to put that there. So not even things that you wouldn't want to feel, just kind of stuff on the, the stuff that you wouldn't necessarily want to be long-lasting. I can't carry those for an extended period of time. But also happiness is the same way, giddiness and pleasure is the same way. There's just a certain level where, sup, Peanut? Hi. Do I have something to give to Peanut? Yes, I have a thing to give to Peanut. Sup, Peanut? I'm here to give you a thing. What is it you want to see? It's a shirt. Here, have a layered shirt. it is really a layered shirt. Nice. You do look awesome. Yes. Okay. I want to sell. And let's sell you a bunch of this stuff. I think there are positives and negatives to not necessarily carrying intense emotion with you. You know, I kind of generally like the fact that, okay, this piano. How much is this piano? It's super expensive, isn't it? An upright piano. Of course it's 53,000 bells. Okay, let's see if we can earn 53,000 bells today. I want an upright piano. But, you know, I think in some cases it's good to not necessarily carry some of those emotions with you. And I'm talking more about the, you know, more about the intense negative ones than anything. But, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing to not being able to be angry at people for a while. It means that I tend to forgive and forget pretty quickly, which tends to be nice for interpersonal relationships. Got a shell table. Nice. And forgiving and forgetting, I think, is it's a good way to keep the relationships I want to keep, you know? And again, I mean, we're talking about slights, you know? We're not talking huge stuff, you know? Someone makes a small mistake, and, you know, and ever so slightly upsets you. That shouldn't be something that you carry with you for forever. You know, that's just gonna ruin your relationship. You're just gonna, things will just be bad. You don't want that in your life. That's you know, that's not a good thing. But I think it also surprises people that I'll end up, you know, talking to them as if nothing happened. But unfortunately, the inverse is also true. You know, if I make a mistake, I try to learn from it. But also, there's the problem that, you know, I'm learning from it, but there's only so much, you know, sorrow I can carry over the fact that I did make a mistake before I just kind of move on myself. And on the one hand, you can say it's good that I'm not going to blame myself for making a mistake. I'm not going to, you know, beat myself up for it. But on the other hand, there is definitely an argument to be said for, you know, not letting yourself off too easily. So it ends up that I'll want to talk to someone who I may have offended on accident, and they're not quite ready to talk to me, and it looks like I'm just being cavalier about, you know, this mistake I made, and the reality is, it's just... I move on rather quickly, and it would be the same thing if they had done whatever the thing was. I don't know, I can't quite tell if it's just if I'm just odd in that aspect. It's one of those, I guess it's one of those weird things about being a person who, you know, I guess reads a lot or spends a lot of time, you know, playing games or watching movies or something like that. You know, living vicariously, I think, through, not necessarily through other people. That's kind of it's not really the right way to say it, but living vicariously through these other, you know, these other stories, things like that. And you read about people who, you know, carry anger for a long period of time. And some of it is, you know, exaggerated, naturally. You know, someone who carries anger for a long period of time is, you know, probably going to end up being your villain or something like that. But there are people who have that, who, you know, end up staying angry at things for a very long period of time. There's also people who, you know, intense sadness for a long period of time. Some people, it takes them, you know, forever to get over something. And I think it depends on, you know, what it is. But, like, you know, I've seen people who... So the problem is, it depends on what you're getting over. I think, before I even launch into an example. I know I was very upset when my last dog died. I was super upset. It took me a couple of, probably 2 or 3 weeks to kind of get to a point where I was okay with it. But I've seen people tell me that that's fast for something like that. Like, getting over that is pretty quick. My dad's death, on the other hand, I kind of processed it extremely quickly. Probably ended up suppressing emotions a little bit on that one, which, we can agree, we can acknowledge that, repressing emotion and something like that is definitely not a healthy thing to do. But I think there's also a difference between getting past and getting over. A pretty significant difference, really. I was able to get past relatively quickly. Okay, I need to keep pears. We're not going to try to sell the oranges, because those won't sell well. Just get rid of some of this stuff. Some of the stuff I need to hold on to, because I'm trying to make that nonsense I talked about a little bit earlier. Okay. I shouldn't have sold those peaches. I need peaches. We need 10 peaches. I have to keep an eye out for that. We also need a bunch of pears, and I do not think that we have enough pears actually growing in the village to match what I need right now. But there's definitely a difference between getting past and getting over. I was able to get past my dad's death and get back to functioning fairly quickly, but getting over it took a lot longer. Whereas I was able to get I was able to get over my dog's death fairly quickly, but getting past it was something else entirely. It took me a while to think, you know what, I really do need a companion in my life to be with me. Let's figure out what B needs. Seems to be thinking pretty hard over here. Let's wait to hear this. I have an amazing idea. Any guesses on what it is? It's a new nickname for you. Okay, let's hear it. I'd like to call you Sunflower. What do you think, Bingo? You know what? Fine with me. I'll be Sunflower. Actually, you know what I forgot to do? I was also supposed to be grabbing duplicate items to give to villagers, and I completely forgot about that. Yeah, there's just a lot of little things that, for some reason just don't get to me. And they don't stick with me for a while. There are things that do, however. When my girlfriend and I, first kind of got together and started this relationship that we were in, the pleasure of that, the simple happiness off that lasted for a while. You could call it we were calling it the honeymoon phase for a while. Just the simple pleasure of I have someone else in my life, and someone that cares for me. That lasted for a good long while. I was still smiling like a fool for quite some time on that one. B, where'd you go? You up here? Yes, you are. So, I mean, that one lasted for a bit. And there's, small things like getting a new game. The enjoyment of that lasts for some time. I think it depends on the game, but something like Enter the Gungeon, which I still play. I've been doing some streaming of that recently because it's a fun game where I can kind of turn my brain off and just kind of enjoy. I mean, this game is, Animal Crossing is kind of great for that too, but in a very distinctly different way than Gungeon. And I think it has, obviously it's content, right? Content's a very different thing between Animal Crossing and Gungeon. They both have very distinctly different styles to them. One's an action game, a shooter. One's just kind of a live and do what you will. I think it's significantly easier in Animal Crossing to walk around, turn your brain off, and just do. But I find that in Gungeon, there's just the simple pleasure of just running through, knowing what things do, you know, picking up a, that's right, you're home and I have a thing to give you. Picking up an item and knowing what it is, you know, knowing that I might get a really good combo. There's that simple pleasure of that. And so that actually kind of sticks with me for a while, too. Wow, he's redecorated again. Oh, that's cool. I have a new thing for you. You get a cypress plant. It is a cypress plant. Okay, student cap. Now, is this actually... I don't think this is a mortar board, though. Yeah, I didn't think so. Later, Braccola. So stuff like that. Excitement at certain things might last for a while. Depends on the subject, really. There's just kind of something I was curious about. There's, you know, stuff that happened over the course of the past couple of days that had me feeling, you know, really down, fairly upset, especially at myself. You know, while I definitely still have that down feeling about the events, that intense, you know, upset has just kind of faded away. The word that I recalled and have used to kind of describe how I feel right now is just malaise. You know, and it's not a really amazing fit for this feeling. I need to drop something. Because I want to get whatever she's building. Hold on. I'll be right back. Yeah, malaise is not it's not an amazingly apt description for how I feel. Because malaise kind of implies that there's an uneasy, you know, or a, you know, low-level upset and you don't know where it comes from. I know where this comes from. Making a tiny library. I already know how to do that, though. I do already know how to do a tiny library. Great. Cool. Super. Okay, well, do you want a thing? I have a thing to give you. I'm going to give you a cypress plant as well. I just happen to have extras. I am sure I want to give this to you, yes. Oh, and apparently I get a metronome. Cool. Neat. Yeah, it's just, there's just this low, I guess this low-level current of just kind of light upset that that I have going on right now. It'll pass, you know. That's the thing, right? The phrase you always hear, "This too shall pass," and I know it will. Like, there's, you know, these things happen. It's a pass through it and kind of move on to the other side. But it definitely is one of those things. It's like, you know, man, I would have kind of expected myself to be upset for longer, and I really am not. And part of me is like, man, I really should still be, you know, unhappy about the current events. And part of me is like, well, at the same time, though. Okay, I can now buy my piano. Yes, I want my piano. That is mine. Thank you. Not going to go too much into details about what actually happened, but stuff happened, suffice to say. And working on that. So yeah, part of the commentary question today is just how do you guys, you know, how does emotion stick with you? Are you the type of person who gets very emotional? Are you the type of person who, you know, you're fairly stoic? Is emotion type of thing that you that just sticks to you for a while. You know, if you are happy or sad or angry, do you tend to maintain that for a while, or is it just kind of pass on its own? Metronome for you. What I'm also kind of curious about is, how is your guys' self-image? How do you see yourself? It is kind of a weird thought, and you know, along with conversations that we've had about, you know, knowing your own way of learning, and you know, knowing your mental map. Yeah, these are things that everybody should know, because the person that you're going to be with the longest is you. Let's be fair. You know, no matter how deep of a relationship you may have with anybody in your life, you are the one you spend the most time with, and you always will be. Unless you have a conjoined twin, in which case, you know, you might have a tie there. Ha ha ha! Jokes. But you're the one that you're going to spend a lot of time with, and one of the things that you do have to, you know, you do have to be aware of, you do have to kind of settle into, is that you got to be comfortable with who you are as a person. Now, when I say comfortable, I don't mean that, you know, come to a conclusion that there's nothing about you that should change or be improved, or that you're perfect or anything like that. But knowing who you are, you know, is an important thing, because if you don't know who you are, if you're not kind of aware of your, yes, your shortcomings, but also your strengths, if you're not aware of things about yourself, you know, you are realistically, you can't improve yourself, right? If you don't, if you don't know who you are. I mean, that's one thing. And if there's, you know, kind of any one thing that I think people should really be able to do, is improve themselves. But if you don't know what your own, you know, weaknesses are, your opportunities for growth, you can't improve yourself. You don't know what to improve. So knowing yourself there is important, but also kind of knowing things about yourself. For example, I know that I'm very much an introvert, which is kind of weird for someone who, you know, spends an awful lot of time specifically just talking, you know, in these episodes, in these things that I do, these ways that I, you know, more or less reach out to you guys through this channel. But at the end of the day, I know I'm an introvert. Like, it's just, it's not that I don't enjoy talking to people. You know, online is a very different experience when I'm talking to people online. It's, I move at my own pace. There's no impetus for me to always be talking, always be listening, always be on. And that's a feeling that I always got from retail, honestly. Is that when I was at retail, when I was working the sales floor, when I was talking to people, I had to be on all the time. You know, always have a smile on my face, always be showing off a good mood, always be happy. And you know, that's part just, this is retail, right? You have to show a smile to the customer. The customer has to think that you're, you know, just pleased to see them at all the times. So that's partly retail, but that's also how I feel like when I'm in public, is that, you know, I need to be on all the time. I need to constantly be showing people a really good side of me. I need to always be charismatic and gregarious. Which may not be true. That might just be a way that I feel that is completely illegitimate. But that's always how I feel when I'm in a public situation, when I'm just talking to people. And that is, it's not just, you know, I might be with a friend, you know, it might be with very close friends, things like that. There's a certain level of closeness where, when you're close enough, you can sit together in silence, in companionable silence. And I actually really enjoy that. I would enjoy just sitting in the same room as someone, not talking, not engaging each other, maybe looking up and meeting eyes every so often, but just sitting silently together. I find nothing wrong with that. But when it's coming to, you know, direct interaction, I always have to be on. And the problem with things being on all the time is their batteries run out very quickly. And that's me. My social batteries run out fairly quickly. You know, the ideal length of time for me to be on and active is about 4 hours. That's about as much as I can do. And I know you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, 4 hours is not bad. You know, that's not terrible. What you gotta understand is that when people like to get together, they want to be together for a while. Like, when I say 4 hours, I mean total. I mean, at 4 hours, stop. And that's not really how social interaction works. You know, it's very hard to say at 4 hours, stop. So I can do it with, you know, something like Magic, for example. Magic's very good with at 4 hours, stop. Because that's about how long the event is. And that's how I know it's 4 hours. Because by about the end of a 4-hour Magic event, I'm starting to not as much grow weary, but I'm starting to reach the end of what I can just continue to do. But yeah, I mean, at 4 hours, I feel okay, I'm ready to go home. But I know that about myself. So I can kind of set myself up so that way when I do go out and, you know, hang out with friends or do something where I am in kind of a similar situation to that, I can, you know, I can say, okay, I'm going to be out from, you know, 6 to 10. That's the amount of time I'm going to be going. There are exceptions, naturally. There are, you know, sometimes I'll push myself, but I know that that's about the amount of time I can do things. So, just can't even. Yeah, resignation to try. Okay. It's okay, I guess. You know what? I feel the same way about resignation. We're going to drop this here. I'm going to have to get another stall, because now I have too many of these to give away. Sup, Pietro? I was just thinking about you, too. I was thinking how much you would like a student cap. But I think knowing yourself is a very important thing to have, just kind of in general. And there's a lot of things that you should know about yourself. But I think the hardest one, I think, that people have to do, the hardest know thyself, is your self-image. How do other people view you? I've heard people say that there is a you that lives in your head. There's an inner universe that you have that is completely separate from the you that lives in everybody else's head. And I believe that's very true. You know, that there's only... Let's see. You can't have my piano, but I have a candle and a peach chair. Well, I have a candle for you. I want to keep my peach chair. I have bought a lot of shrubs. It's always I'm not gonna say it's always surprising, but there are some things that I've heard from people in the past that are surprising. And someone who, you know, I know just recently kind of expressed a potentially romantic interest in me, and that's one of those things that always surprises me, because, you know, when I think of romance and I think of relationships and things like that, you know, even with the relationship that I've had for as long as it's gone on, you know, I don't see myself, I don't mentally picture myself in a romantic relationship, because I don't think I'm a person that contributes much to it. Okay, we're not gonna be able to know what I got until we finish doing our nonsense here. But I don't really see myself in it. It's not that I don't want to be in one. I do, but I don't feel like I am the catch. You know, I go and I see a lot of you know, I see a lot of people and things they have accomplished, and, you know, maybe being an amazing conversationalist, or always being fun, or having lots of interesting, you know, hobbies, stuff like that. There are people who are interesting who, you know, you'd want to be around for a good period of time. One of my friends, you know, he likes to, you know, he wants to be a radio host, and he wants to be, you know, he's done work there. He's done work as the ASPCA. He's done work as, he's doing electrical work now. He, you know, has just recently trained up to be an official steward for, I think, like bourbon or something like that. So he has all of these little, you know, little things that he does that are, you know, fairly fantastic, right? So I think that makes him an interesting person, and a person that would be a good for, you know, good to have a relationship. You're not going to get bored of that person because there's always more stuff to do down the line. But, you know, you have them. I have another friend who, you know, he is, you know, loyal as all get out. He's talked to me about the health issues that his wife has, but talking about how he's helping her every step of the way. And, you know, that's a person who fits well in a relationship. I'm not saying that I wouldn't, you know, I'm not saying in a relationship I'm not going to be the loyal person who sticks around forever. I absolutely will be. If I am any animal, it's like a golden retriever or other dog who sits at the door and waits for you to come home. That's very much, you know, kind of who I am as a person. But, you know, hearing what he does for his wife with the issues that she has, you know, that's a relationship. That's a person who you want to be with, you know, forever, because you know that he will always be there. And so, and you know, there's stuff like that. I don't see myself, you know, as the type of person who would naturally attract kind of anybody. I don't have the interesting relationship. I don't have the good looks. I don't have, you know, I don't have an amazing, you know, of the things I possess. None of the things I possess are amazing. And I don't see myself as having that amazing personality that would lead you to wanting to stick around. So it's always surprising to me when I hear someone say otherwise. And occasionally I do. Occasionally people do, you know, will say, hey, you know, they'll hear me self-deprecating and they'll argue with me. And it always amazes me, because I just don't see myself as that. Okay, what did we get out of the rug gotcha? Cafe curtain wall, Rocky Mountain flooring, shanty mat, simple medium orange mat, yellow message mat, summit wall, palace tile. I want to go see some of these. And if you're curious, this is not me, like, fishing for compliments or anything like that. It's legitimate, like, I don't mentally see myself as these things. So it's always surprising to me, because my, you know, my mental image of me is just someone that kind of myself is just someone that kind of plods along, does my thing. Hey, look at all these rotten turnips that I have to go clean up. Let's not talk about it. Okay, so cafe curtain wall. Oh, okay. These walls behind walls always trip me out a little bit, because there's depth at this angle, but once you get to about this angle, the depth's gone. Okay, so that's cafe curtain wall. How about Rocky Mountain flooring? What's this? Oh, okay. Gotcha. What's a shanty mat? Okie dokie. Let's see, summit wall. Oh, I like it. That's staying up. Big fan of that. Simple medium orange mat. Not 100% sure how I feel about that one. It's very orange. Yellow message mat. Okay. And palace tile. I'm actually a big fan of that, too. I'm not sure about leaving it up here. That's more of, like, I think, a foyer piece. A foyer piece. So I'm not sure about leaving that where it is, but, I am a fan of that rock, of that mountain wall. We're gonna be leaving that up for a while. I miss my mountains. Yeah, what is your... How do you guys feel about... I guess, you know, about yourself, you know, and even reflected in the eyes of others. You know, if you think about how you see yourself versus how others see you. Because, you know, people tend to talk about each other all the time. I have a friend who, you know, I find to be a very interesting person. I enjoy their company a lot. And, you know, we banter on a fair amount with each other. And in that, this friend will absolutely and categorically deny that they have positive traits. And therefore, it's becoming a hobby of mine to make sure that whenever I have a chance, I point out their positive traits to them. But they just categorically deny it. And so they definitely do not see themselves the way I see them. And so it's definitely interesting to me to know that. But I also want to reinforce the, you know, the positive things. I want them to know how much of an awesome person they are and how much I enjoy their company. So I always love reinforcing that. Because I feel it's important for them to know they are, you know, they are awesome. They, you know, they do have a lot of very wonderful positive qualities that I really enjoy. So, you know, you'll find people who will tell you about yourself. So I guess, you know, the question I guess also is, do you believe people when they tell you, when they give you those compliments? Can you accept them? I have a very hard time accepting compliments. I don't know why. It's not necessarily that I doubt the sincerity of the person giving the compliment, and it's more that I just, you know, I slightly doubt I slightly distrust their reasoning skills, let's put it that way. If I'm, you know, if I'm this supremely positive thing they're talking about, I have to feel like maybe they don't have other good examples to draw from. Fossils. But I don't know. It's a self-image thing. So I'm curious how you guys, you know, what your self-image is, and also, you know, how you deal with you know, negative self-image. You know, do you reach out to people and ask, hey, you know, what do you feel about me? That always feels like a way to. Always feels like a way to fish for compliments, and I don't want to fish for compliments. We were talking the other day about, you know, stuff you ask for versus stuff that is given without asking. Anomalocaris. Anomalocaris? Anomalocaris. Okay. Okay, what is this? Lived in the water long for the dinosaurs and are known for their distinctive look. Flat bodies over 3 feet in length, bulging eyes like a dragonfly, antennae like shrimp tails. They look so peculiar that people originally thought they were multiple fossils stacked on top of each other. As a delightful side note, it means abnormal shrimp. Obviously, this animal has a certain reputation in the scientific community. Okay. So that's the only donation we have. Let's go take a quick gander at how our fossils are shaping up, because I haven't looked in here in a while. Ooh. Oh, hey, I think we're done in the first room. Look at that. Oh, I think some of these... Okay. Some of these just kind of filled in on their own once we finished the room. Like these first 4 on the left here and these first 2 on the right. Those just kind of did their own thing when we filled in the room. Okay, how are we looking in here? So we're looking for a stego middle, looks like. But those are done. Still missing the, I guess, 2 pieces off this thing. T-Rex is missing a tail. Missing a bunch of pieces off whatever these are up front. Brachiosaur middle? Diplodocus middle. Okay. And tail off the Brachiosaurus. Okay, so we got some stuff there to fix. How are we doing over here? Ooh, it looks like we're done in here. Nice. Man, we're trucking along in the museum. Fossils are almost 100% done. Look at this. I'm going to have to start getting into some serious Pokemon trading with some friends to make sure that we get the remaining fossils that we need. Nice. Means I can't sell the ones I have right now, which means we can't get some money. But you know what? That's fine. I'll get money other ways. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. I like it. All right. Some heavy issues today. I think a number of my topics over the course of the next couple of days are probably going to be, you know, navel gazing. I think is the way I'll put it. And that's entirely just because of events of this past weekend. We'll get around to some more entertaining stuff in the future. Red brick wall, chocolate holly wall, rose wall. Interesting. Okay, I don't think I'm going to purchase anything with our Nook Miles. I think we're pretty good there. Let's see, do we have any... We've got KK Marathon, which I think is new. I think we need a mesh cap, a Chow Tea, 9-ball tea. I think that's all I'm going to purchase there. I do need to... We still have to go check on clothing. But, I also want to check to see what our village rating is. Because I think we're probably getting close to 5 stars. Hi, Isabel. I want to talk about island evaluations. 4-star rating still. Okay. This is a good island, filled with good feet that know the value of a good rug. Visitations are pleasant. Thank you, Sahara. We appreciate you. Here at the last report, more folks responded positively to our island scenery. Always room for improvement. Yeah, I probably need more fencing. There are a couple of houses that don't have fences yet, so I could probably do that, and then maybe look into kind of fencing off maybe some garden plots. I'm probably gonna make a little park area at some point. But I kind of like how our town looks at the end of the day, you know? We're doing good work here. And I think I'm gonna relocate Peanut's house to like right here. Let's go look at our outfits. See what we got going on over here. But yeah, there's a fair amount of navel gazing as I just kind of wallow in self-pity for a while, but won't end up lasting too long, I promise. Okay, so all you want to talk about is your other sister. Tuesdays can drag the most, so I need to do my best to stay sharp. If the tailor made a mistake, they probably did it on a Tuesday. That's what Mom always used to say. Okay, what do we got in the fitting room? Oh, dinner apron. Well, diner apron, really. And we got... I don't know if I had the Fisher hemmed yet. I mean, we'll find out pretty soon, won't we? Probably grab some satin pants. A shower cap. Do we really need the pacifier, though? I'll tell you, the foot stuff, the shoes, not amazingly interesting in this game. We've only seen like 6 different types of shoes overall. Okay, there's my Fisher hemmed. Pretty sure I already have that. Definitely already have that. Do we have a grape hat yet? We probably don't, right? All right. So, that's about it for me today, guys. So, to recap on what we're talking about today, let me know how you guys' emotions kick in. Are you a very emotional person? Can you maintain emotions for an extended period of time? I'm not sure how I feel about this Forest Princess. And then also, do you know yourself? Are you aware of yourself? You know, are you aware of how others see you? And also, do you agree with them? I mean, that's always going to be a big thing. But let me know how you feel in the comments below. It's always fun to have conversations with you guys. I do promise that I read every single comment that you guys leave, and I respond to a fair bit of them. I know that my thoughts are meandering more than usual lately, but if you do like these videos, do me a favor and hit the like button, because it does mean that other people find my stuff more often, so you can share me with other people. And then if you want to see more videos similar to this one, both with philosophical and potentially thought-provoking commentary, as well as me just screwing around in other games, hit that subscribe button. And I upload typically at least 1 video a day. Right now we're doing 2 videos a day with both Terraria and Animal Crossing, and it may even be 3 videos a day over the next month as I start uploading La Mulana 2. So if you want to see some of that, subscribing is the best way to go. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you next time.